Some interesting news yesterday. We'll remember right-wing lawyer Sidney Powell, who made a lot of claims about election fraud and Dominion and Venezuela and all of that. Well, she was sued for $1.3 billion by Dominion Voting Systems and is now arguing to dismiss that lawsuit. Why? Let's look at her logic. Let's put this up there on the screen. She argues that no reasonable person would conclude that those were true statements of fact. Let's digest this. No reasonable person would conclude that they were true statements of fact. And this is what actually makes me so angry about this entire thing. You know, she's raising jurisdictional issues, all of this, and over the Kraken, she's arguing that she can't be sued because her voter fraud lies were just opinions and legal theories. Is she took the stage of the RNC next to the president of the United States' lawyer, so much so that the president believed her. She gaslit millions of people into believing this outright falsehood. And her retraction now is that she's essentially insulting them. She has contempt for them, saying that they were not reasonable people, that they were fools, essentially, for believing what she said. She made these claims and supposed she was claiming, I'm going to die for this, crying and all of this, and gaslit. How many millions of people who voted for Donald Trump in good faith for whatever reason believed that their vote was invalidated or that the election was stolen because of this lying woman? And I remember I was in Las Vegas International Airport. This is around Thanksgiving, and there's like a board where it's like what you're thankful for, and people wrote Sidney Powell. Like half the response was Sidney Powell for saving the election. Sidney Powell. These good people believed it. Good people believe this. Even today, I know people who cite the Sidney Powell stuff. She was somebody who defended Michael Flynn. She was somebody who had a legitimate record as a federal prosecutor. She lied bald-faced to 75 million people, many of whom believe her claims, including Donald Trump, who latched onto it for convenience. The damage that has been done from this, it can't be undone. It's traced to the Capitol riot, to everything. And it just makes me so angry to see how many good people bolstered her claims, and now she has nothing but contempt for you. That's the thing that makes me mad.
And that's exactly the thing, is she looks at them as fools. Says that no reasonable person could have possibly believed the things that she was asserting on behalf of the President of the United States were accurate. She has done, just herself, tremendous harm to this country.
Yeah, it's true.
You still have, when you poll people, there is a sizable minority of this country that believes the election was stolen. Truly believe it, based on the insanities that she was putting out there. Venezuela, this whole conspiracy, global socialist conspiracy, et cetera, building people's hopes up time and time again that she was going to reveal some conclusive evidence, that she was going to release the Kraken, and it was all going to be made right again, and all the lies would be exposed. Instead, she's the one that's being exposed, and she's doing so herself, saying no reasonable person would believe any of these claims. You can't put any of that back in the box, because now that you've sowed so much mistrust of what happened in this past election, this does incredible damage to a democracy. People just believe that the system is outright rigged, that their vote doesn't count whatsoever. And look, we all talk about the ways in which the system is corrupted, from the money that's involved and the gerrymandering of the districts, like all of those things. It's not like it's a level playing field, but the nuts and bolts mechanics, when you cast your ballot, it's counted. That's generally the way that this goes. And they didn't present any evidence whatsoever that held up in court that proved that this election was stolen from Donald Trump and that Joe Biden was wrongfully elected president. It is such a shameful state of affairs that this person gained such incredible prominence in the country.
Yeah, it really makes me mad. And I also blame Trump, which is that Trump embraced it because he's desperate and he can't admit that he lost the election. And I get messages all the time like, why don't you talk about the fraud and all that? And it's just amazing because all of these people at its core, and I said this from the beginning, they're like, aren't you mildly concerned about the extension of Pennsylvania ballots? I'm like, shut up. You don't care about Pennsylvania election law. You never cared about Pennsylvania election law.
It was Republicans who did that anyway.
The GOP legislatures in Michigan and Pennsylvania are the ones who passed these laws. in the first place. You didn't care at the time. You only cared after you lost the election. And don't pretend that by flirting with this stuff that you're not tacitly endorsing Sidney Powell, Venezuelan Dominion conspiracy theories. And from now on, remember, she believes you are such a fool that you're not a reasonable person for believing that. I don't expect anybody's mind to be changed on this. I've given up that fight long ago. But it is important to expose just how much contempt people in the conservative movement and at the top have for their own voters, that they openly lie to them.
So true.
That's what's happened here.
So true. All right, more rising for you after this.